Hey everybody, Clorf here. Welcome to Stranded Deep. I've had a few people ask about a guide, and the guide I did for the previous version has done relatively well, but I wanted to do a kind of a beginner's guide to this current version. Current version of Stranded Deep right now is 0.13H. The game has been around since 2015. And it's about a year and a half old right now. I've been playing since, I think, the first week of release, and it was quite buggy then. But for the beginner, or for people who have never played this game before and are wondering what it's like, you arrive in-game having survived a plane crash and are on a raft. You'll be very close to an island, and the first thing you want to do is row your raft to that island and take a look around. Just kind of make your way around the island. Look for a decent-sized island. If we were to take this island from here to just this section that I've got, I would say it's a little too small. There aren't enough plants here to really make it sustainable. And you're going to be looking for... Let me see if I can find one here, or if I have to go to another section of the island. Yeah, I'd have to go to another section of the island. There are small trees with fruits on them. You want to make sure you have a few of those on your island. This section does not, so if it was just this portion here, it's too small. You need a decent-sized green area, and this is just way too damn small. And some flat areas. I'm going to go over to the other section of this island. This was actually the second island I went to, so don't be surprised if the first island you're on is not suitable. It happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I've been here quite a while. I've built up quite the shelter. Let's go over to this section, and I will show you the kind of trees you want to be looking for. I believe that's one directly ahead. No, that's one right here. So this type of tree here, it doesn't say anything when you highlight over it, but if you look right here where the cursor is, you'll see a kura fruit. There's also another type of fruit on one of the other trees. I forget the name of the fruit. The name of the fruit is unimportant. That's a ficus, so that's not the tree I'm talking about. And that one's currently got no fruit. But you want to look for several of these trees, probably 3 to 5 on your island. If you've got a decent amount of green space, and this section here is great. It's got some high areas, it's got some lower areas, lots of green, lots of those plants, like I mentioned before, and it's got some flat areas with some beach on them, which you can use to build your shelter. Your first time around on your island, it doesn't matter if that's the island that you're going to end up staying at. If it's too small, again, don't worry about it. Go around the beach all the way around the island and look for resources. The first things you're going to want to look for, and I'm going to try and list them in order here, is you want to find buckets. Buckets are vitally important. You need that for water. Water consumption is critical in this game. You want to find tarps. They're blue, and they will help you with water reclamation so that you can survive in this game longer. The next thing you're probably going to want to find is, if you can find them, and you may have to go onto shipwrecks, I'll explain those in a bit, is a flashlight. Because playing this game at night, in the dark, is horrendous. The moonlight does not always light everything up particularly well. You can trip, fall, hurt yourself, which is no fun at all. But, yeah, go around your island collecting resources like that. The other things you're going to want to concentrate on are wood sticks like this and rocks. Gather up everything you can. If you've got a decent sized island, you can set your shelter up there. Perfect. If not, don't worry about it. Fill your inventory to nearly full, and pick one of the other islands that's in the distance there that you can see, and make your way to it. One of the tricks early on in the game, before you have a compass, which is another thing you'd really like to pick up, is if you're going from island to island, take one of these sticks, and you can just right-click on it to hold it up, and point it in the direction of the island you're heading to. And when you get to that island, pick up the first stick you see, and point it back at the island you're just coming from. This way it gives you a sense of direction. Until you have a compass, getting lost in this game is incredibly easy. You don't want that to happen. So, that being said, once you find an island that is suitable, you can start dropping your resources in a central location. And I've got stuff kind of everywhere. I've got lots of sticks, I've got coconuts, I've got things everywhere. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a couple of these rocks and you want to craft a stone tool right off the bat. You need 2 rocks to do it, so craft one. And then it'll show you the stone tool in yellow. Just click on it, it'll fall to the ground, pick it up. With this, you will then go to a yucca plant, which I will go show you in a second here. The sun is setting, so I'm going to demonstrate how nighttime is awful here. Because the first thing you're going to need to really make in this game is an axe. That is really key to speeding things up and making it easier to work this game. Find a yucca plant with your stone tool in hand, and just left click and strike it. You'll have to do this about 8 times, or just hold the mouse button down. I think it's 8 or 10 strokes. That's 4. Okay, and leaves will fall. Fibrous leaves. So pick those up. There should be 5 or 6 out of every plant that you do this to. And they will spread out in areas where you can't quite see them, and it's annoying as heck. There's one. See, there's another one here. Nope. Yep, there is one right behind me. The other way you can get fibrous leaves, although I don't recommend it, is young palm trees. You can strike them a few times and pick them up. The reason I recommend yucca plants over the palm leaves, the young palm trees, and you can use both, yucca plants respawn. So after 4 days, it will be a fully formed plant again. You have unlimited access to the fibrous leaves. So go back to your crafting menu, hit the C button, click on lashing, and craft that. Just drop that. You can pick that up. I'm going to go back to the beach here, and it's going to get dark, and you'll see why things are kind of awful. Although not initially. It's going to be kind of twilight-ish, and will still be functional for a bit. So get back to this area here and hit the craft button again. You want to create an axe. You need 2 stone tools, so we're going to need to make 1 more. I've got plenty of sticks, I've got plenty of lashings currently. You need 2 lashings, I have only made 1. So let's make another stone tool here. And drop that, figure out where it is. See, at night it's becoming harder and harder to see. I can look at the sky and see it fine. I can look down here and go, where the heck is stuff? Fortunately, I have a flashlight. Makes it so much easier to actually do stuff. So, again, craft an axe. Make sure you've got everything, nothing's in red, you're good. Craft the axe, pop it down. Pick it up. Okay, step 2. In order to save the game, you need a shelter. Either this shelter, which is 3 sticks, 4 palm leaves, and 1 lashing, or the one I recommend is a bed. It's a little bit more work. You need 6 palm leaves, 4 lashings, and 6 wood sticks. But it's really not that hard to get. You can do that probably in just a few minutes. Again, more yucca plants will yield the lashings. The sticks you'll find all over the place, and you can cut down trees. You want to find a tall palm tree for this. Not a short one, not something you can quickly and easily access the top of, but the tallest one you can find on your island, and then chop it down. We'll use this one here for kind of reference, and this will take, it's 8 or 10 swings again, I forget. It's faster with the axe. You can do it with the stone tool, but it takes forever. And you'll need to do this to 2 trees. Go all the way to the front of the tree here, palm top, and again you're going to swing at it 8 times. Just hold the mouse button down. Okay, it broke off. Now we can see a log. We don't want to pick it up, but we're going to swing at the top again. This is going to provide you with the palm leaves. And the reason you need 2 of these trees is because each tree only provides you with 4 leaves. Pick them up. Once you have all the materials needed, find a nice flat spot on your beach. And excuse me a moment here. And you can create a bed. Once you've got the bed made, you can press the E key, you can sleep, you can save, and you can cancel out if you accidentally hit it. Saving is important. You're going to want to do that from time to time. Sleep is also vitally important. But let me cancel out. Next order of business, and excuse me for just a moment here while I check. Ooh, water supply. My water supply is very low. This is going to happen quickly to you in-game. Is water. I'm going to pick this up. I've got water supplied in the game right now because I have been preparing like crazy. Is building solar stills. They are slow. It will take probably a day to a day and a half for one to fill up with 5 water. That's its capacity, 5. If you have the buckets and the tarps to do 3 or 4 of them, go ahead and do so. Again, you may have to scour multiple islands to find all these buckets. If you only have 2 buckets and 1 tarp, you're going to want to make one of these bad boys. This is a water purifier. It is a little harder to make and a lot more resource intensive. Let me show you real fast. So to make the water purifier, you need a fire spit, which in order to make the fire spit, you start with a campfire, sticks, campfire pit, rocks, and a campfire spit, wood, stick, and lashing. From there you can add more sticks, tarp, and more lashing. You also need 2 buckets. It doesn't say you need 2 buckets, but what you're going to do with the buckets is you're going to place them on this stick and on these ropes. You do so just by grabbing them. So I can grab that. Oops. Hang on. Let me dump this one. Grab it. And you can grab that one. So I'm just going to put this one back and this one back up here. Once you have one of these buckets, and I'm going to demonstrate with the bucket that's in hand because it's currently empty, run into the water until you're about waist deep, or you see that the water is flowing into the bucket. Yeah, the bucket is full. If you take a look down there, you can see kind of water in the bucket. And then you can place that bucket with seawater on this stick. You light the fire. Seawater evaporates out of here, collects on the tarp, and falls into this bucket here due to the design. I'm going to drop this bucket because I no longer currently need it for demonstration. That is the water situation. Food. Remember those trees I pointed out earlier? Will actually solve 2 issues. So these Cura fruits and the other fruits, which I cannot remember the name of, and I do apologize, will provide you with 1 food and 1 water. That's nice, which is important for the important for the first few days, because again the water situation is going to be horrendous at best. So these will keep you alive, and that's why I suggest probably about 5 of the plants on your island. These do respawn, but I believe the rate is currently 7 days between respawns on them. So you kind of have to be careful with them. The other water source is coconuts, which you'll have access to. Watch out for bats. Coconuts, which you can just pull down and chop into. It provides you with 1 liquid. So I've got 3 coconuts here. I've got access to 3 liquid. And right now I'm down 2, so you can see it already drains pretty fast. That being said, let's move on to the next important thing. Fishing. You're going to want to have some food, real food. So you want to create a spear. 2 wood sticks, 1 stone tool, 2 lashing. Not too difficult at all. Let me access my spear. There's my spear. With the spear, any island you're on, kind of venture into the water until you're deep enough to Have your head underneath the water. This may take a second. There. No. Let me go out this way. Wow, I am really in shallow water. There we go. Okay. You're going to need to have one of these fish that you have highlighted right in the center of your screen. You really want to highlight it. This way you can left click and grab it. Left click again, it puts the fish in your inventory. Missed. And this is somewhat difficult at times. Get in deeper water here. Just keep grabbing them. You can do this till you have about 8 fish. Okay. And something nearly happened there that I will explain in just a bit. What we're going to do first is we're going to get some sleep so it's daytime and I can show you things a little easier. Something happened there and I'm going to show you real fast here. Because while you're fishing, you still need to consume air. So drowning is the thing. Drowning is the thing that happens really easy. If you pay attention to the edge of the screen here, once I actually get into deeper water, watch the edges of the screen. They will slowly start to fade away. Nothing's happening yet. This will take a few seconds because you can hold your breath for a little bit. I'm starting to get an oval in the center of the screen here, and that shade on the edges will start turning red. The redder it gets, the worse it gets. Now I'm starting to choke. So, you don't ever want to approach it where it starts getting really red. Kind of pay attention to that as you're diving and fishing. Now, in order to eat the fish, because you cannot eat the fish raw, you can't do that anymore in this game, you need to cook the fish. You need to make a campfire, a stove, or the best way to cook fish and crabs in this game currently is a smoker. So, go to your inventory, drop the fish on the ground. Pick them up one at a time. Again, right click on the fish, walk it in there. Right click on the fish, walk it in there. Try not to throw the sticks around everywhere. And this takes a little getting used to. You can fit, I believe it's 8 or 10 fish in the smoker and up to 8 crab. Once you're there, you can light the fire, they'll start to cook. This will take some time. Don't worry about it. A neat little trick you can do is you can take the buckets, fill them with water, and crouch down by holding the control key and then drop the bucket. It will keep the bucket level and you won't spill anything. The other thing you can do if you're traveling between islands is fill your bucket with fresh water, pick it up, and then switch to a different item in your inventory. Let's say the spear here. You can't spill any of the water that way. It's very nice and it's really convenient. As soon as your food is done cooking, as soon as your water is done filtering, extinguish the fire. Preserve those resources as much as you can. One of the other important things you need to build, and you may need to do this to build the bed, I forget, I don't believe you do, is you need to build a hammer. 1 wood stick, 2 rocks, 2 lashings. Again, pretty straightforward, shouldn't be too hard. I don't believe you need that for anything up until you get into, yeah, a hammer is required for these. So you can build foundations, walls, stairs, all this stuff you see here. You can use wood sticks or driftwood sticks. You can use corrugated steel. You can use planks that you find. You can use half the amount of resources to build a wall with a window in it. I like putting the shelter in a nice flat space, up a little bit. I've got a nice little place here for storing food, which is nice. This way you can cook as much food as you want and just store it here. If you smoke your fish and your crab, it is basically preserved. It will last an indefinite amount of time. It does not decay. If you pull fruit down, not coconuts, the regular kava fruit, cura fruit, whatever it is, and potatoes or other fish, crabs, and you just leave them around, or you cook the potatoes and the fish or the crabs. They will decay after, I believe it's 2 days. On the second day, it turns to something inedible and it will poison you, so you don't want that. Food on the smoker or any of the cooking devices will take a little bit of time, but there will be an alarm bell that sounds, you'll hear it in a little while, to let you know that the food is cooked. Currently where I am right now, if you look where the mouse cursor is, you'll see some kind of white bubbles coming out of the ocean. They are easier to see at night, which is why having a flashlight is so fantastic. But you're probably going to have anywhere between 1 and 4 of those around your island. Swim to the area where that bubbles are coming out of, and then you will notice a shipwreck of some type directly underneath. Investigate that, but be careful again. You don't want to get caught anywhere too much. Watch the sides of your screen. Make sure you're not drowning. I've already been to all of these, but you can find resources on here. This is one of the best places to find metal tools which last longer, because all of your tools, and I hear a shark. That shark is a pain in the tuchus. But there's a toolbox here. I opened it and I took whatever was in it out. Let me get back this way because the shark wants to eat me. Please avoid the sharks. You hear that music? There's a shark around. Just know that. I've angered this shark, so he really wants revenge. And the heck with him, buddy. All tools will slowly degrade. The more you use them, the faster they degrade. Stone tools obviously degrade faster than metal tools. So, anytime you get a chance to pick one up, great. Don't be afraid if you're on an island and you haven't got the resource space to just make a pile near the beach with everything you've had, drop it all there, and then decide what you want to bring back to your island. It's not a problem to make multiple trips. If you have to do that, do so. Changes they have made recently, and again, if you're new to this game, you won't notice a change because you're just starting it. Weather no longer happens. You have clouds, but it does not rain. So that method for gathering water is out. And one of the benefits of not having weather is you don't have to worry about getting lost. If you're traveling in between islands and a rainstorm suddenly comes up, if you get turned around because of a shark or a distraction or something, you still know what you're headed towards because you were looking towards that island. You can kind of still see it. This is where a compass comes in tremendous handy. So I'm looking at this island here. My needle is pointing towards 352 degrees. I know no matter what direction I get turned around in, so long as I can face 352, I'm there. If I'm coming back, you look at the bottom of the screen there. It's nearly south. It's 172. If you ever can only see the top of it, just add or subtract 180 to whatever number you are aiming for. You'll be fine. They've just added bows and arrows. So you can hunt. There are birds and there are bats in-game. You cannot hunt them yet. There are, however, boars, which you can hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, this boar is Bob. I have so named him because, well, I did. And he's dead, but he's twitching. You cannot cook boars, you cannot skin boars yet. They keep saying yet, so no worries. They were just introduced in this version. The other animal was just introduced in this version, and I do not have one on this island, is snakes. You can kill them, you cannot cook them, you cannot skin them. Watch out for snakes. They are hard to recognize at a distance. They look very much like rocks. They will sneak up. There we go. Our food is done. As soon as you hear that bell, run back, extinguish the fire, and grab your food. And then grab some sticks, select them, and add wood back to your fire again. Yeah, I know, I'm too lazy to put stairs in. Then I'm just going to drop these fish right here, because I can. And actually, I'll eat 2. Just to kind of... And that brings my food situation up a little better. I'm still down, but it's alright right now. I want to try and continue explaining things here to you. Yes, the snakes will bite you. I do not know if they poison you yet. I really don't want to find out the hard way, because that would be bad. Sharks will attack you. They will bite you, and healing can occur naturally. It takes a long time. The other thing you can do is you can either find bandages, or you can pick up cloth and duct tape and make your own bandages to heal yourself up if you've been bitten. There are antibiotics. You will see occasionally a message come up on screen if you are sick. You may be able to take them. Let me grab one. If you click on it and nothing happens, I'm left clicking to daylights, means you are not infected, so you can't accidentally use them. Same thing with vitamins. I can't click on it, can't use it. I don't have whatever the issue is that those cure. There's also morphine. That happens. That can be used if you fall out of a tree or you trip over a rock at night and break your arm or leg. That is how you cure a broken leg, apparently, is morphine. You can cut down palm trees for wood. You can cut down ficus trees for wood, which I am not near one. That's okay. As a regular plant. This is a ficus tree. Young palm trees, I do not believe they grow back. I have yet to confirm that, but I'll have to take a look. Assume they don't, but they are a means of getting fibrous leaves if you need them. When you're cutting down the palm trees, the other thing you want to watch for is coconuts. If they've got any coconuts on them, they're going to jar loose. Go grab them. Again, water and food is available through them. I think those are the major points for the early stage of the game. Keep going to whatever island you can. Every day, go explore a new island. Get as many resources as you can. Make notes of what resources are available on the island. If you don't have a compass, point a stick in the direction of the island. Even if it's just one of these trunks, you can kind of pick them up and nudge them in that direction. Might take a few tries, but you can aim it out there. You can also use this there. You can also use this trick with shipwrecks. If it's nighttime and you can see a shipwreck really well, don't assume you're going to be able to find it again in the daytime. The trick I use is I will take a stick or a trunk like this, and I will put a rock right at the end of it. So let me grab a rock real fast. Let's assume that there was one right in place of that island. And I'll drop it. I'll pick it up, make sure it lines up, so that I know that there is something out there I want to investigate. The hardest part of this trick is remembering not to accidentally pick up the rock and the stick as you're resource gathering. Turn the flashlight on because I have a flashlight. Actually, let me take a gander around here at night. So this is what it's like at night. I can't see a darn thing. I'm managing to do this because I know the contours of this island by now. But, I mean, you can't see a blessed thing. I just ran over a rock. Some of this island is lit, some of it not so much. Moon goes behind the clouds. We venture back into the not so much territory. And you can fall and break things. It's very bad. Oh look, I have light. It took me 8 game days to find a flashlight. Don't be afraid if it takes you a while to find one. You can still function without it. It's a lot of time on sections of the island that are either lit or sitting around and sleeping. But yeah, I think that's the major points of the early stage. I will go on to some of the other points like crafting and some of the other things you can do as far as building boats and stuff. Although, if you've got your raft, generally you're okay. I will cover those points in another how-to guide. So I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys have any questions on Stranded Deep, how things work, if you've got questions on how to do certain things such as fishing or using a bow and arrow or how to craft or anything like that, please leave me a comment. I would be very happy to assist you and try and demonstrate whatever I can, impart what knowledge I found from this game to you. But until next time, Thank you all again for watching. If you liked the video, go on ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, as I said, feel free to leave them down below. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it down below. I will respond to you as quickly as I possibly can if it's a question about something in-game. But again, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to read them. But thank you again all for watching. I love having you here. So until next time, my name is Glorf. We will see you then. There are snakes on the islands too, so have to be careful of that. Poison. I see clouds now.